Hey guys, got a knife video for you here. One of my patrons, I have a Patreon page, one of my patrons bought this blade and is allowing me to do a review slash overview of it. I won't be carrying this blade, this is it's going to be his, but just got a chance to get it in front of the camera for you guys, get some impressions and kind of overall spec and stuff like that. So this is the Benchmade 590 Boost. As you can see, it is one of their everyday carry blades, assisted open, made from S30V steel. It's got an axis lock knife, blue glass. Let's crack it open. Now this isn't an initial unboxing, he's already unboxed it. And actually, it came over to me with a request to look at it because he wasn't happy with the axis lock and it was sticking. He did reach out to Warriors and Wonders or Blades Canada. They told him to oil it, and if it didn't work, they would exchange it for him. So that's good. They're handling that well, but I don't think there's going to be a problem. I think it'll loosen up just fine. So you get your little axis tag, your instruction manual from Benchmade. Of course, they tell you about their Life Sharp service and warranty, where you can send your knife back to them. They'll sharpen it up for you. Comes with the black Benchmade little pouch. And here is the 590 Boost. So this has grivery handles, grivery, whatever you want to call it, and it has this rubberized section as well, which are nice and grippy actually. So the gray part is the smooth plastic part, and the black part is the rubberized grippy section. Comes with a deep carry pocket clip, which is awesome. That's the same deep carry pocket clip that I love on my Adamus. As you can see, it's pretty well used on mine. But exact same pocket clip, different finish actually. It looks like it's a more of a blued finish than a paint, which I hope that's the case. That would be great. It would hold up better than the other one. Not that, you know, it shows a little character, no big deal, but looks like they changed the finish on it. So it's got the axis lock, dual position pocket clip. It has the lock on the back of the spine, so you can lock it and not open it. I believe it'll even lock so you can't close it. It will. So this lock functions for both of those reasons. And right there, this is one of the things that, like I said, it's sticking. Now, I can definitely get it to move, but this should be pretty easy to haul back. If you look on mine, it's really smooth, and this thing's dirty. It needs to be cleaned and oiled, but still, it's one finger, very easy. This one here, not so much. It's there. It actually has to break free. So I'm pretty sure that all we're dealing with is this little, if I can get it to focus, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little line right there where it's clear that the lock bar hits right there. So I am going to buff that up, oil it, and oil the lock bar, and I think we'll probably be good after that. But you can see the phosphor bronze bushings in there. Again, I apologize, it's not focusing there. There we go, we can see them now. So it's got bronze bushings in there. It comes out nice and quick. Of course, this is assisted. How does it open compared to a non-assisted axis? Well, of course, it doesn't take much effort and it opens. But if you put a little effort, I don't think this is much slower. And of course, you can slap it shut. But this one definitely comes out with authority, gives a good thud, and it's definitely not easy to to move that lock, so I'll have to work on that in a moment. You can also pull down the axis lock, give it a wrist flick, and it'll open that way as well. It's got a little jimping back here on the, I guess that's where your palm swell, where your palm would be. None up here though, which I do know my my Adamus has jimping in both locations. You know, take that for what it is, whether you find that useful or not. But let's break out some measurements here. So overall length on this closed is right at 5 inches, 4 7/8 maybe. Open overall length is 8.5 inches. And so we have, as far as the cutting edge, we've got 3 3/4 inches. And then we've got a blank spot here, of course, that I'm not measuring. So, yeah, good capable size. Definitely would do most things you'd want it to in an everyday carry roll. I'd say it's about an 1/8 inch thick at its thickest point. The blade stock, of course, they have the swedge on the top, and then it's a nice high grind on it, so it doesn't stay that thick for long. It has a stonewash finish. It's a little odd though, because I can see the stonewash finish, and I don't know if you'll pick it up on camera or not, but I can also very clearly see the grind marks underneath of the finish. So the stone finish is very thin. I mean, it's still nice and smooth. Just an observation that you can still see all the grind lines on all three surfaces, all three bevels here. So, so we've got the standard Benchmade logo on the front. If I can get it to focus for you there. I'm getting too much glare. Sorry, guys. There we go. So there's the Benchmade logo with 590 at the bottom of it. On this side we have S30V and benchmade.com/pat. I haven't looked it up yet, but I got to assume that's their patent website, or the portion of their website that's about patents, maybe. I think that's a bit weird to have on your blade, but whatever. So yeah, we're dealing with, again, this is assisted open axis lock. Let's get a weight for you. Closed up here. Just a little cheap scale, but should do the trick for this. So we are looking at 4.56 ounces. Just as a comparison, I'll grab a fairly well-known folder here. I've got my Spyderco Paramilitary 2, 3.83 ounces. And on the other scale, the other way of the scale, we have the Adamus, which is 8.18 ounces. So that kind of shows you, as far as weight for carry, what you're dealing with. It's not as chunky as an Adamus, but it's definitely got some more heft over top of the Spyderco. It's got some more thickness, of course, as well. Carries deeper, though. I like that. I really like this carry option, this pocket clip design. So this was $178 Canadian plus shipping and tax. It came to what, $217 total to the door. He ordered this from Warriors and Wonders or Blades Canada Friday, and it showed up Tuesday. So that's nice and quick. Again, it opens with authority. It just, once you open it that way, the axis lock really sticks. So you got to pull hard and it'll break free, and then you can close it. But yeah, nice blade. Comes pretty sharp. Grab a piece of paper here. Yeah, it's definitely better than what I would call decent out of the from the factory. Definitely a slicer. But it's got a sticking problem. So I find it bad that it was released that way. It was sent out like that and hadn't been, you know, tested or lubricated or worked in before it got to the consumer. Another problem I have, and it's not a big deal when the blade is open, but I have yet to see in person a Benchmade, and again, this is your mileage may vary, this is my personal experience, not opinion, but personal experience. I have not seen a Benchmade come with a centered blade or a perfect grind on it side to side. I've had the Barrage, I've had this, I've had the Adamus. That's what I've had personally, and I've had a Griptilian. Same problem on all of them. They don't, for some reason, their tooling is not. Well, look at the tip on this. This is my Adamus. If I can get you to focus on it. I don't know if you can see that, but that tip is nowhere near centered at all. And that's not from sharpening, that's the way it came. I have not had to fix this tip. It has always been, yeah, I can't get it to focus. There we go. One side is way longer than the other on the bevel. So I find that frustrating because Benchmade is a premium knife brand. I realize they have their gold series, which I would expect them to be absolutely perfect, but Spyderco can put out a knife for the same amount of money and grinds the same side to side. They come out nice and smooth right out of the box. They don't need anything. This, if you were really fussy, you might be playing with the pivot, trying to get that blade centered. You might be, you know, I'm gonna have to play with the axis lock to get it smooth because it's really gritty right now. Whereas this one has been worked in. Smooth. Even though it's dirty in there, it's still smooth. So I don't get it. I'm not sure where their QA department is, I guess. I think they need to really invest in one. But that being said, it's still a nice knife. It opens with authority. Once I get this lock worked out for them, it'll be decent. It'll be good. Yeah, it's a cool knife. So I'm going to pause the video for a minute and come back to you guys after I've fiddled with this thing and kind of tried to free it up a little bit. Bear with me. All right, guys. So far, no go. So I have oiled this thing. I've buffed it up a bit. I've worked it quite a lot, probably about a month's worth of use, just open, close, open, close. Essentially, I can see two potential problems. You can see that little line right there, the little divot where the lock bar hits. It's either sticking there or it's sticking as the spring fires it back up into the pocket right there. It may be sticking on the liner. Because if I go like this and just let it go, you can't pull back. You have to actually break it free again. Right there. That's all it takes. Is just let the Omega spring snap it back up into place and it gets stuck again. So I'm trying to work it. I have it smoother now than it was. Definitely. But when I let it go, it still seems to hold. I mean, I just did it with one finger, but I actually had to pull hard. I expect to be able to do it with one hand. I don't want, or with one digit. I'm not using my finger on the back side. I can pull it with this one, or I can pull it with the other one. That's what I'm expecting. In this case, if I try it with the index finger, I really have to pull hard. I can make it happen. Yeah, that's a lot of force I have to put on there with my thumb. So we're not there yet, but I have an idea. I'll be back. All right, guys, so let's wrap up this video. I've done a few conclusions on this video already that you guys will never see. I've spent the better part of my day trying to get this thing to where it should be, just to feel like a new knife, because it is a new knife. It's never been used. The only thing it's ever cut was the piece of paper I cut on video. So, still extremely hard, solid, really difficult to open the lock bar on the axis lock, or to pull back the lock bar. The owner is reaching out to Blades Canada, Warriors and Wonders. He's going to swap this. I think he's actually going to swap this for an assisted open, zero tolerance, 350, what was it? BW maybe, black wash finish. Anyway, I'm sure I'll get that in front of the camera for you guys, but this is going back. I can't in good conscience tell him to have anything to do with this thing, because I feel in order for it to work properly, which just the amount of pressure I'm having to put on this thing is ridiculous, it needs actual grinding to make it smoother in there, or some serious sanding that I'm just not willing to do on a brand new knife. So long story short, do I recommend the Benchmade 590 Boost? No, I do not. I'm disappointed in Benchmade's quality control to not have this even tested to see that the lock works before they ship it out the door. It wouldn't take anything for somebody to just clip this open and realize that that's way too hard for somebody to want to actually use it. So his new knife coming, I believe he's going with a 350 series, zero tolerance, has a liner lock, a lot more simple. I'm a fan of the axis lock. I had a problem with my old Griptilian. This one, I think the Omega springs are far too light, and I don't know where to buy heavier duty ones that would help retain this thing better. This one, it was gritty off the start. It's not as gritty now. It is still gritty, but it's not as bad because I've oiled it and I've buffed it. But yeah, it's still pretty gritty actually. And it's just its own spring tension. It's fine when it's closed, but when it's open, if I just let it go, right there, it's stuck again. So I still think the problem lies in the channel, possibly at the top side of the channel, just where the blade's pushing it up when it's locked. I'm just not willing to do any more work on it. So anyway, guys, I'll have some more videos coming to you very soon. I've actually got a little crossbow that I'm going to do some a review on that my son bought. It's a little 80-pound crossbow, fires just little aluminum bolts. So I'll do a video on that shortly. Some gun stuff coming up, more knife stuff coming up, more flashlights. The list goes on. So stick with me. As I said, this came from one of my patrons on Patreon. I will make sure my link is in the description below if you guys want to check that out. And yeah, I'll be back with you guys very soon.